The college soccer season is back tonight. And in Bowie Creek, North Con, it's the Campbell Fighting Camels, the favorites in the Big South Conference, taking on the Mercer Bears, riding up from Georgia out of the Southern Conference. We welcome inside the broadcast booth of former Campbell soccer legend Rusty Scarborough. I'm Evan Budrovich. Youth versus experience tonight. Campbell returns 9 starters from last year's regular season championship team. Mercer has to replace 45% of its scoring and starting goalkeeper. How much will experience play a factor to open the season?
I think it'll play a huge factor, especially the first 10 or 15 minutes. Campbell's just going to be more settled in, than the Mercer University team. They'll be excited, stressful. Both groups will, but Campbell will absorb that and get through the first 5-10 minutes real easy.
So this young Mercer team voted 3rd in the Southern Conference, led by Tony Economopoulos, the 12th-year head coach. How does this group find its maturity so early in the season?
He's pretty happy with preseason and how they've been very receptive of what he's been trying to imprint into the team. So I think we'll see an exciting 10-15 minutes from Mercer, and we'll just see where it goes from there.
Campbell's led by a first-year head coach, Jeff Gross, former UNC Greensboro assistant. How does he right the ship for this group and keep them in a winning direction?
He's got a great demeanor for taking over an older team. He's not trying to change the world of what he's trying to do. He just wants to relay some information to the players and let them absorb it and take it, each of them individually, and make them better.
When we come back, starting lineups and getting set for the opener of the college soccer season when we return.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
There's not a secret to what actually happens behind the scenes at a bank. Here at First Citizens, we're trying to educate the client in each step of what's actually going to happen and actually have them make the educated decision around what steps and what options they utilize. We want to become that trusted advisor that actually guides them down that road, helping you reach your goals. That's Forever First.
The B1 Performance Patch elevates physical functions by transforming carbs into glucose used to fuel the body. Don't compete without it. Visit buyb1.com or on social media at B1Patch.
There's over 450 million hoopers out there. One will outscore the country and put Norman on the map. Less than 1% of high school players get a scholarship. Odds a freshman would lead the nation in points and assists. One ain't never been done. 1.3% of college players get drafted. Only one would drop 48 and 11 in the conference finals. One will know this is just the beginning. Trey had a 1.5 billion chance to get here, but he saw a possibility.
Whether it's the practice field or weight room, in class or on game day, we compete down here. We put in work, day in and day out, to take a step forward towards degrees, championships. Our goals? Excellence on every level. More than 4,000 student athletes, one attitude. We are the Big South, where winners are made.
So welcome back to Eakes Athletics Complex, gearing up for the start of the college soccer season. These two programs, they haven't met in a decade with a rain-delayed matchup last year, so they will return for the lineup today. And in the 21st meeting, we'll start with the home squad, the Campbell Fighting Camel order. Stevity Martelli works in the goalkeeping position. She replaces an all-conference starter between the pipes, but 9 starters return. What a luxury for Coach Jeff Gross.
Yeah, I think returning 9 starters is just what a pleasant environment to have as a coach coming in trying to take over a program, to have some older ladies to count on and let them have the game and run with it.
Including 6 all Big South Conference players featuring the forwards really dominant offense with Delaney Bombick and the combination of Jessica Donald on the all-conference team. And for Mercer, a group that has to replace its top scorer, Allie Fordham, 9 goals last year. But we'll start between the pipes. Lindsey Bell, brand new starter. She redshirted last year. Big challenge for this Mercer defense.
Yeah, they had a very good goalkeeper last year that they graduated, right? So it'll be interesting to see how she copes with the first 15, 20 minutes of pressure and see, does she have control of the game, control of her team?
A starting defense that returns all 4 on the back line, including all-conference Kylie Buchanan. It's more of that rotating midfielder and a strong defender. And then Aaliyah Kitchens, she expects to step up in that scoring department. Coach Economopoulos real high on her ability to figure out those 9 goals that are missing.
Yeah, he was excited about her in our phone call yesterday. So he's counting on her to kind of step forward and make a difference. You
see Tony there discussing with his group 12 years in. He said this is the most understanding and willing to listen team he's ever had. How does that translate now to the game where, of course, you learn everything, but then it has to apply to the real moments?
It does. It's a pleasure as a coach to be able to say that your team's listening to you and being very receptive. Hey, but once that whistle blows for the first game, it's going to be interesting to see how everybody copes with that.
Everyone's a good listener when it's the preseason, but once the once it starts hitting for real, this Campbell team, new head coach in Jeff Gross, and relatively similar lineup, returning over 70% of its production. How do you try to replicate last year's success if you're this Campbell squad?
You got to give them some freedom. You got to give the girls some freedom. Let them run with the first 15, with the first game, and see where they go with it. And if they're mature enough, like we hope they are, and we think they are, they'll be able to cope with all the different things that happen during the match.
Jeff Gross said for this year's team, it's been a blast to watch them. And I mean, every player that was here in the spring was buzzing with confidence that translated into the fall for the preseason favorites in the Big South. Taking on the third-ranked team in the SoCon entering this young season. And with our head referee getting us set to go, Brandon Marion. Let's get this party started. 2022 soccer is underway. And an immediate change of possession. You mentioned the nerves of a young team like Mercer. 4 starting defenders return, but a brand new offense up front. How important will these first 5 to 10 minutes be for the Bears?
It'll mean a lot. I think the first 5 minutes of each half and the last 5 minutes of each half are really the most important pieces of the game. So we'll see. It looks like Mercer's coming out and pressing high. Their confrontation line's high, so they're looking to come out and play.
For a team that's so young, replacing over half of its production from last year. That'll be an interesting matchup. A veteran experienced team in Campbell and a young but savvy team in Mercer that challenged the champions in Sanford right to the final whistle twice. And, of course, Sanford, they won a regular season title and won an NCAA tournament match.
Yeah, and I think, from listening to Coach Gross, Mercer's going to come out, or they have in the past, and be very aggressive, tenacious, right? Press, chase, defend. So we'll see how Campbell copes with that.
Here's the all-conference forward, Jessica Donald, top scorer for the Camels last year with 9 goals.
I've been very impressed with her. I've watched a couple training sessions, and she's very focused and committed as a player.
She ranks top 10 in the program's history in goals and forces a corner kick here. This was an area Campbell thrived in last year, top 15 in the country in total corner kicks per game, 8 a contest. Let's see their first of the new season. And this is Cassie Norgren to attempt the corner. Amber Liston right there next to her. So Norgren sends it in towards the back post, and a second chance goes high. What an opportunity in the opening 2 minutes.
Yep. I think there's a percentage that's very high of goals scored in the game of soccer or from set pieces. So it's important to be able to defend and attack.
I'd love to see the replay there because clearly that second chance for Richards, she's spot on and a pretty good chance to convert.
Yeah, I mean, the header straight onto it was going in. It was blocked by a player on the line. So. Yeah, you can see where the defender blocked it right off the line.
So a missed opportunity for Richards early. She just had another shot on target. You mentioned this high pressing for Mercer. How do you micromanage that when your offense is so driven heavy? It could almost expose your back line.
Yeah, well, you got to be very comfortable on the ball and be confident that you can play out, right? Look to play out of the back and play forward.
Easy control for Kylie Buchanan, second team all-conference, but here's a dispossession. Yep. Mercer with the first shot, and Martelli is there. Quick look for Nicole Eisen. Neat story for Nicole, 2019 SoCon Player of the Year, 10 goals, missed all of last year, recovering from an ACL injury, and if she can be that number 9 striker up top, it changes Mercer's offense.
Yeah, for sure. She did a great job of disrupting the 2 center backs for Campbell.
Now here's the challenge for Martelli. Can she play the ball in her box? That has been a struggle for now the junior keeper. Replaces an all-conference goalkeeper from 2 years previous.
Right.
And even though time was split, that's a hard assignment when you go from not being the full-time keeper to now inheriting most of the role. She won the job in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think Coach Todd and Coach Jeff are very excited about her. It's just we want how does she realize how good she could be and how good she is at this point.
Nice through ball to Baiotto, and there's a first chance for Lindsay Bell. And we noted sort of early in this match, right, the new keepers. Well, Lindsay Bell, she sat out all of last year. This was a challenge from Tony Economopoulos. She's come back, won the starting role after being the Class 6A Keeper of the Year in Marietta, Georgia. That's a big assignment from high school keeping to now the college ranks.
Yes, it's a big jump. So for her to not play last year, this is her time, and we'll see what she makes of it today. It's a long season, Evan. So it's the first game.
And all that being said, if you win your first match, the confidence, the momentum. I know there's 15 to 16 matches a year, but clearly you want to win this match tonight, not just the long-term play as well.
Yeah, you have to win these kind of matches to be able to, if you want to achieve goals like playing in the NCAA tournament.
So that's sent forward by Delaney Bombick, the all-conference defender, one of 3 on the back line that returns for the Fighting Camels. And I tell you, Mercers, they have lived up to these challenges early. A lot of through balls, seem confident.
Yep.
And here's the speed. Sierra Whiteley, very slippery offensively described by her head coach. Nice job keeping that in for the moment. And a corner kick is earned off the foot of Bombick. So there's that 1-2 touch of Eisen and Whiteley early. That could be a factor.
Yeah, it could be. They were combining very well in the final third.
So Kendall Cook, the junior out of Alpharetta, Georgia, to serve this in. Promising to the back post, and Martelli rises up with her 6-foot frame.
She did a great job holding on to that ball in traffic, yeah.
So last year as a sophomore, she only played in 7 games, did Stephanie. Was once the full-time starter in 2020. It's a unique role as a keeper, right? You ask him to be the most important defender on the pitch, and yet she's had different roles in 3 years.
Yeah.
Good job by Baiotto creating space. Looking for Donald inside the box. And a risky dispossession. Boy, Donald gets it back. A chip shot is cleared. How does Mercer defend Jessica Donald, the reigning attacking player of the year in the Big South?
Coach Gross was saying yesterday how he's been very pleased with her ability, her aggression in practice, and her work ethic. And you just saw it right there. She gave away the ball. Immediately, within 1 second, won it back.
Jeff Gross described her as a gritty player.
Yeah.
Not typically a term you hear in the soccer ranks, but certainly a tough one to stop. 9 goals last year.
Yeah, well, it takes that to be a forward as well.
Seven minutes in, a couple of early chances for the home squad. The Campbell Camels coming off a 12-4-2 campaign, yet on their home pitch, lost in a conference title in extra time. That's a unique matchup of the regular season this year in the NCAA. No overtime. Goes straight to a draw after 90 minutes.
Yes, that'll be different to get used to for sure.
A Mercer squad that lost to the eventual champions in Sanford in a 1-0 defeat. 7-6-5 as Amber Liston makes her way into the box. Good deflection. Baiotto near it. And there's Bell out of her post to grab that loose ball.
Yeah, and all that started with Mary getting forward as a left back. Yeah, Mary Tierney played forward, and then she joined the attack, and it was great. I'm a very whenever I coached, I always wanted to get many games in the flanks, and she just did that for the first time for Campbell today.
And to be able to have those midfielders that can push forward, how does that open up your offense?
Well, it just gives you another option, right? And Mercer now has to come out and try to change at the moment and adjust to what just happened.
There's Jackie Richards playing it forward.
Yeah.
It's a unique offense because last year alone, 6 players had 5 or more goals, and 5 of those players come back. So finding that balance and camaraderie early could be a question for Jeff Gross's club.
Yeah, it's all about confidence, right? And building that team chemistry and giving them the freedom to play. So I think he's done that or tried to do that. On the other side, I mean, how can you defend that, right? 4 or 5 girls that have scored 5-6 goals each.
Here's Richards, one of those goal scorers. And Mercer's been very good inside its defensive shell. Pitched 7 shutouts last year, did Mercer, all 7 of their wins. A little ticky-tack play in the middle of the pitch, and Bioto tries to come out with it. Boy, that back 4, all returning starters. How important will they be tonight for Tony Economopoulos' club?
I think it's probably going to be the glue to the team. I can see right now they're very confident in what they're doing.
Not only 4 returning starters, but all 4 played at least 15 matches. That's a chemistry that can be huge from one season to the next.
Right. It's like what we expected, Evan. The first 10 minutes have gone kind of a little bit hectic both ways.
Yeah, what are your impressions on the first 10 minutes? Campbell's had more of the chances, but neither team with really maintained possession.
Yeah, a lot of giving the ball away, and I think that's what you would expect in the first 2 minutes of the 2022 season.
And on that note, we have a lost throw in there. It'll be repossessed. And the ref says, well, wait a second. You got to back up a minute. Laney Peabody trying to cheat a few inches. The California product from Modern Day High School. Same home as Matt Leinart, Matt Barkley.
Yeah.
Just to name a few out in California. I do play privy to the California natives, being one myself.
There's a few West Coast girls on this team, I think.
They're both rosters with California natives.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have thought in Macon, Georgia, and Bowie's Creek, North Carolina, there'd be multiple California players, and yet here we sit.
So Mercer's created another giveaway chance.
Can the Bears capitalize? Second chance chipped wide, and that was the shot from Mackenzie Gassey, a senior out of Winter Park, Florida. And really those second balls, those loose opportunities, may be Mercer's best chance to score tonight.
Yeah. It's almost like countering, right? They're trying to win possession, get forward quickly with numbers, and catch Campbell numbers down.
Tony Economopoulos said when you lose a 9-goal scorer from last year, the key is going to be scoring in bunches. And we've seen that with Campbell's approach the last 2 years, leading the Big South in scoring. That'll be a question for Mercer coming in. That's the best part of this being match 1 of the season. A lot to learn these next few weeks as Donald earns the throw.
Yep. You know, both coaches are trying to get through these next couple games and learn about each player and be able to move forward and really establish the team that they want. But having said that, you got to get points along the way. So these games are important.
Well, I want to learn about the mustache of R1, William Ordonez Rojas. He has quite the stash early in the year.
There's nothing wrong with mustaches.
Must have started in March. I see you, Rusty, with one yourself. I decided to clean shave for this matchup. There's a chip shot in. So Lindsey Bell in her first start seems composed. What have you liked about her performance?
Yes, she is composed, and she hasn't been rattled yet. It'll be interesting to see what happens if we're able to get a goal, Campbell.
A Campbell team that had no struggle scoring last year, 7th in the country, 2.8 goals per game. Everyone was catching BYU last year as the hottest scoring team in the country.
Yep.
Of course, the Cougars played an epic battle with Florida State in the national championship. The Seminoles won in penalty kicks.
Right, yep.
So here's Jackie Richards looking to penetrate this back line, and a great dispossession by Kylie Buchanan. She's special in that back line.
She did well there. She, forced her outside like you should and tackled when she could.
3-time All-Conference for the fifth-year senior, who entering the spring was not sure if she was bound to come back for her COVID year, and that really spoke highly of the coaching staff that Buchanan wanted to return and play her final year.
For sure, yeah. And this year's going to be interesting, right? With the COVID year coming back with all anybody that wanted to.
And it's really the last year that's going to happen with rosters turning over and some of the scholarship numbers shrinking. It is that last chance, if you will, to have these elongated rosters.
Yeah.
Which is complimentary because Mercer only has 24 players. It's smallest roster in 5 years, and that's the challenge if you're this Mercer team.
Yeah, I think Tony said yesterday when we spoke to him he was supposed to have 29 players coming in.
Are you going to say Economopoulos today? I'm going to get you to try it.
I will definitely try to say that, yes.
He's a Greek, and I was a Croatian. We were talking about great dishes pregame.
Yeah.
Where does the Scarborough name from? Where do you call home, Rusty?
Welch.
Oh, Welsh. Okay.
Yep.
As the head SID, Stan Cole, stands next to us and mentions Rusty Scarborough is a Bowies Creek soccer legend. 40 years in the coaching profession and the soccer world. Glad to have you with us for your ESPN debut, if you will.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I retired 3 or 4 months ago, so this is a new phase for me. I'm looking forward to it.
Played from 77 to 81, and there were some throwback uniforms posted today on the Campbell men's soccer account.
Yeah, I had a couple people email me and call me about that. Uh-oh.
There's a through ball, and Martelli out from her lines.
She did great with that.
Because Sierra Whiteley, she's quick. That's a tough assignment.
Yeah, I mean, right, they dispossess, they win it, and their first ball is getting forward as quick as possible. So Campbell's going to have to be really, really patient in the back and not lose their shape. And I think as the game goes on, this will be a key with the back four of Campbell.
A back four that returns all 4 starters, too.
Yeah, I mean, if the game stays 0-0, how impatient will Campbell be, right? Or will they be patient enough and just play for 90 minutes?
Especially when you factor in no overtime periods this year.
Exactly.
I mean, how much does urgency play a factor in the second half?
Yep.
Because unlike you, Rusty, I hate a draw. I want to play for the win every time. And I'm curious how these teams evaluate that in moments with 10, 15 minutes to play.
I think with no overtime, you're going to see a lot of teams trying to get a point out of it.
There's Whiteley dispossessed by the strong foot of Laney Peabody. And she easily clears that out. Unique when you lose a head coach like Samara Zem, who goes to Villanova. No players electing to transfer. As we mentioned, 9 starters returning, a large majority of this coop coming back. And you do wonder how much that plays a factor for a team that has a wealth of experience return.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see as this game goes on, the maturity of Campbell will be a little bit more, take on more of the ownership of the game. I'd be very shocked if we don't.
Neither team with many good chances in the last 10 minutes.
No, the game's kind of settled in a little bit. And
really, that Jackie Richards chip may have been the best opportunity. There's a little collision. Love to see some contact early. Pace Stevenson.
Yeah, Peabody.
They call Laney Peabody the enforcer on that back line as she looks to get some water.
She's very brave in that tackle.
Liston serves in middle, but Mr. Target.
So here comes Mary Tierney. I'd like to see her get forward a little bit more.
Is this a player-initiated movement? Is this coach-initiated? How does these things happen from your experience?
A little of both. I mean, depending on the coach, right?
Ooh, look at that header.
Yeah, that was nice. Do you want to get another player forward in the attack? I personally like to get forward with the left and right back when you play 4 in the back.
And that's why Campbell was able to score so proficiently last year. 50 goals.
That's a lot of goals in college soccer.
An 18-game campaign. Mercer, a little different story. 31 goals last year, but when you pitch 7 shutouts, it keeps you in a lot of contests.
Both groups are playing out of a 4-3-3, so it's interesting to see what kind of what's their style? What are they trying to accomplish out of that? Mercer's more apt to play forward into the 9, and then play off of her and get in behind the back 4 from that.
So we have our first substitution of the night. Amaya Evans, the senior from Marietta, Georgia, checks in, and she'll replace Aaliyah Kitchens on that forward attack. Evans, a 3-time academic selection. Sociology major. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
2 of the smarter teams you'll see in this matchup. Campbell with a 3.16 GPA, Mercer above a 3.5. I know that's common in the women's soccer game, but certainly impressive.
It is impressive, yep.
You don't want to look at my report card back in the day, I'll tell you that much.
What's going to be interesting to see how many players they go depth-wise.
What do you think, Rusty? How many substitutes would be normal in a first game situation?
First game, yeah. 15, 16, 17.
Tony Economopoulos, the Mercer head coach, he told us yesterday they were 50-50. Do we play all 24 players, or do we substitute 4 to 5 in more of a regular season format and gear up for the rest of the year?
Right. I think, the season's begun, right? This is the season now. So not that you're going to be settled the rest of the year, but you're here to be productive and get something out of the game.
Because on one hand, you want to win this game tonight. Yeah. On the other hand, you want to win when it matters most in November in a tournament.
Right. So as you go through this first month, you've got to continue to develop and bring along players to where you're at least 16, 17 deep at least.
So that'll result in a Campbell throw. No shots on target in the last 10 minutes for either team.
Campbell's playing with 1-6 and then an 8 and a 10 in front of her and the 3 in the midfield. And Mercer's got 2 6s.
And when you're saying those numbers, you mean positions on the field?
Position, yeah. So 2 defensive midfielders for Mercer, kind of obviously because of the attacking schemes of Campbell.
Just ticked under the 25-minute mark of this first half. Teams that have not matched up since 2010. Which, believe it or not, many of the players on this pitch were not even in middle school in 2010,
right.
Just to put some perspective on it.
That does. Neither team has really held the ball well and possessed. Whenever Alyssa's coming back, she's playing the 9 for Campbell. Whenever she's coming deep to get a ball, we're able to get forward a little bit off of that.
So here's Mercer with an opportunity. Sierra Whiteley trying to maintain any possession on the offensive third. But look how many bodies are committed. 6-7 back for Campbell every time.
Yeah, yep.
You mentioned Mercer playing forward, sending bodies up offensively. How difficult is that to maintain over 90 minutes?
It's actually not. If you're able to, you got to be able to hold the ball up. So, the number 7 for Mercer, her name's Kendall Cook. I mean, she's able to hold the ball up. Then they have time to get players forward.
Neither of these teams were high in the country in fouls. Played pretty clean soccer last year. A new season, a new campaign. 2 teams that were both picked in the top third of their respective conferences. And maybe different ways of doing it. Novovieski serves one in. Looking for a top 10 all-time goal scorer at Campbell, and Jessica Donald. Peabody looks to turn. Service, target, Richards, and that goes wide.
Yep.
Well, another opportunity for young Jackie Richards early.
Yeah, good ball in the box.
Great job by Kylie Buchanan, too, step for step with Richards.
Yeah, and have the confidence to get a foot in there.
Because you're one bad foot away from giving up a PK.
Yeah, exactly. Or an own goal.
So that ricochet kicks out. Campbell's best chance is the 35-minute mark of the first half. Mercer with Nicole Eisen, a couple of shots on target, but Now their team with major chances. And you said even in the open, you were curious how the first 10, 15 minutes unfolded.
Yep.
How do you feel these teams have settled into the new season?
It has settled. Both teams have settled down now. It's just possession-wise, neither one's able to be productive with the ball to get forward.
What has forced some of those issues, especially with Mercer struggling to hang on to the ball?
Well, it's the immediate pressure from both teams, really.
Here's Elizabeth Hargis, the two-time All-Academic selection.
Yep.
You go up and down these rosters, and it's all full of academic selections and honor roll and 3.5 GPAs. It pays to be smart.
Back in the day, we didn't see that.
Well, when you have that combination of smarts and skills, like Jessica Donald, for example.
Yeah, we'll see how they take advantage of this.
Here's Cook serving it out to Evans. Quickly dispossessed by Peabody.
Yep.
We've seen the right back all over the pitch tonight. Her impact seems important.
Yeah, she was able to possess the ball with that too.
And she clears it forward.
Yep.
If you're Coach Jeff Gross, I mean, how versatile is Laney Peabody? How do you like to utilize her defensively?
I haven't been around the group to know if she's an attacking-minded right back, but I personally, from what I've seen, would think that she could get forward.
Well, that's the best part of being an analyst. That's your job. I want your opinion. I want to know what you think.
Yeah.
Joined by Rusty Scarborough, I'm Evan Budrovich. First match of the 2022 season. And there's Peabody again. She must be all over in terms of total touches, possession.
She's able to keep the ball, yeah.
And yet a second-team All-Big South selection last year. A little bit of a surprise in my eyes, but that's just me. Objective Journalism 101. Team wins the most games ever in its regular season history, 9 conference victories. These two conferences sort of mirror each other in many ways, too, SoCon and the Big South. Samford, the 8-time conference champions in the Southern Conference. High Point has had traditional success in the league for the last 6 titles.
Right.
And Campbell's been one of the few schools to break that mold.
Yep. So let's see if they can keep the ball here and get players forward. Right.
Liston, who you mentioned was the top striker, plays it forward and might just miss her target. Here's a chance.
That's that grittiness we were talking about, right?
Yeah, Jessica Donald, the engineering major, contorts her body and finds an angle for the corner kick. Remember, Donald last year, 9 goals, 8 assists. Has not been as offensive-minded tonight, but that's a critical play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get, hopefully they get something out of it.
Not a ball that was by any means close. You have to hustle 50 yards down the field just to even get a touch on that.
But a lot of players would give up on that, And she showed that she's got the grit that Coach Jeff likes.
So Norgren to serve this in. Very short, looking for Bioto, and shoots one up. Header down, missed. Second chance into the mitts of Bell.
Yep.
Saved by the Bell with Lindsay Bell doing her work. I think I can get you there. Take me through this play. How does it all happen?
A missed volley. It's just all kind of hectic in the box,
Sometimes the best plays are the ones that are mishandled, the mishaps, right? It creates the most traffic and issues for a defense.
The service from the corner was very good.
Because on one hand, you're right, that initial shot, okay, I can anticipate that, but it's that second chance, that deflection, it's way more difficult to figure out what to do. Let's see if Nicole Eisen can continue her success, finding an option middle. There's a shot on target, and it's deflected, so not inside the box. Mercer led the Southern Conference in shots on goal last year and have struggled to get many on target so far. Bioto deflection, maybe numbers the other way. Up ahead to Donald. Ooh, great slide tackle by Lubeck.
Yep.
The junior out of Milton, Georgia, saves a goal. Boy, Peabody has won every 1v1 tonight. Donald, one of those 6 All-Big South selections. And she has been targeted a lot more in these last few minutes. A little strategic move here from Coach Jeff Gross.
Yeah, she's very good on the ball. She does a good job, and she's crafty and creative. What we expected in the first game of the year, I think it's just a little bit too hectic, right? Both programs can maybe in the middle third of the field one more pass. Just a
look at the header by Richards, and the offense comes to life on the beautiful set piece.
There you go.
Well, you called for offense, and Novoviesky tees it up to Richards.
Yes, she handled that very well. She got inside the defender. Nice header.
So Jackie Richards with her 8th goal in a Campbell uniform. You had mentioned a need for some offense, so that plays a factor late in this first half.
Yeah, and now we'll see how Campbell settles down even more now. So they have that goal, the first goal of the year.
So a Campbell offense that was 7th in the country in scoring. They find their first strike tonight. Maybe a chance for more here as Richards settles it down. Look how much attention Richards is drawing now as Liston serves it high. This is promising into the box over Bayoto. A bicycle kick that goes wide. Okay.
Yeah.
Showing off the flexibility in the first game of the year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think I just pulled my hamstring watching that. Rusty, take me through this play. It seems pretty difficult for Novoviesky.
Good turn on the ball. Yep. Great ball in the box. Great ball in the box. Yeah.
That's the difference maker right there.
Jackie did a great job of getting her body inside the defender.
So, first goal of the season comes at the 16-minute mark of this first half. Campbell last year at home, they were dominant, 8-1-1. What makes them so difficult or unique at this facility, especially playing with a lead tonight?
Yeah, I think that's a great. Listen, Novoviesky,
yep.
Right? Tremendous body shape to get between the defender and the ball, and very very courageous there.
So what makes this team so tough to stop at home? How has Campbell gone 8-1-1 last year?
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, that's a good question. You get those wins, you start adding those wins up, it just becomes more comfortable, right? And players become more confident. You don't get beat at home. It's just that mindset.
Promising chances for Campbell early, and they capitalize with Jackie Richards. The Xavier transfer, who has wasted no time scoring. We noted this team last year. 7 goals, 7 assists for Richards.
All right. Mercer's got to hold the ball now. Well, okay.
And Tierney knocks it out. These are the critical moments for the Bears that must replace Allie Fordham, a 9-goal all-conference scorer last year.
Yep.
Do return Aaliyah Kitchens and Lena Whitfield, who have not seen Lena yet. 7 goals last year, but she'll be a factor late as there's a promising ball in. Oh, look at that tussle. It's a tough assignment if you're Jamie Lubeck for Mercer defensively.
Right. The front three for Campbell are very tenacious. The work ethic is really good. That's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of defenders.
How does Mercer try to counter that then, especially with possession here?
Right. I still think just one more pass, right? You saw the right-sided player was free into the flank. You know, be patient on the ball, set it back, go wide. Yep.
So it takes nearly 30 minutes, but how does Campbell finally break open and start this match with a goal?
Yeah, Alyssa turns on the ball, right? Great ball into the box, and Jackie Richards just did a great job of getting her body on it. On frame, too, which is very difficult as a header.
It's her 8th goal in a Campbell uniform, and the way this helter-skelter half had started, it was difficult to know who was going to get a quality chance.
Right.
We had mentioned Richards, 2-3 times early with some missed opportunities, and she converts the hardest one.
Yep.
Funny how soccer works. Whiteley hangs on to it, but there is a foul on Sierra. Second team All-Southern Conference standout. I always wondered as a player how calming or settling is it early in the year to get that first goal and open up the offense, if you will.
I think it just settles the team down, settles the players down. Everybody can kind of relax, right, and just kind of get a little bit more comfortable on the ball. So we'll see what happens here.
We asked Coach Tony Economopoulos, how do you develop a team in only 2 weeks of preseason and a Mercer squad that doesn't have the privileges of summer conditioning and training together? It's a much shorter off season. He said it's going to be hard, and they have to manage it. And I'm curious how that's playing out in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a journey, right? It's not going to all be happening in the first week of the season, but he's got a job on his hands to get a younger team ready to go before conference play for sure.
So a substitution for Campbell in the final 10 minutes of this half. Bayoto exits, and in comes Bailey Humbert, junior at Apex. And one more substitute, Olivia Neal. She enters, missed all of last year due to injury, and is now a factor on the back line, giving Norgren a breather. How will Neal's impact be made tonight?
Coach Jeff was pretty excited about her in his conversation. So I'm interested to see what happens here.
Entering for Mercer, number 9,
Keelan Prey enters for Mercer, the sophomore of Dunwoody, Georgia. And Belle Martinez, or actually my apologies, not Martinez. Our first game too, figuring out all the substitutes, so who's coming in, who's exiting.
I know. It's awesome to kick off this 2022 season, though.
I do appreciate coaches that have jerseys with clear numbers that are easy to read. That can be a broadcaster's worst nightmare.
Right.
Like a same color, white on white, or a orange on orange type of thing.
Yeah.
So here's Callie Backlund with her first touch on the offensive end, and quickly finds her defender, Pace Stevens.
All right. See if they can connect a couple passes here.
Mercer has struggled to maintain possession, and a play like Richards there will help. Here's Donald, the Big South goal-scoring leader, trying to put her defender on skates. Good chip shot.
Another corner.
That does go out of play, so a corner kick is earned. What makes Jessica Donald so elusive on the ball?
She's very good 1v1 attacking, right? She loves to run at players. She's comfortable running at players. It just wears you down.
Donald earned that critical corner and then eventually led to the goal just a few minutes later. Just 8 minutes prior.
Campbell's got in-swingers, so I like that. Ball's coming in towards the goalkeeper.
So Tyranny descended in. She looks to the back post.
Oh.
Knocked down. Richards turns. Her shot's deflected off the post.
Yep.
And Bell saves a second. Boy, Mercer's really struggling with these second balls in the box.
Yeah. Jordan Lynn did a very good job of closing that ball down to make it difficult for Jackie Richards.
She basically plays inside the net there and
Yeah.
uses her whole body as defense.
Yep.
A little unconventional, but when it works, eh? There's a header in. Richards with the size at 6 foot. Could not find her. And yet that's how she found her 8th goal of her Campbell career.
Yeah.
Playing it high and
Yep.
letting the physicality of the senior go to work. Look at Delaney Bombook just roam the back line, control it with ease. Preseason Big South Defender of the Year. And you don't always talk about defense when it comes to Campbell's success, and yet with the litany of returners, that could be a newfound strength for this year's team.
Right, yeah.
How so?
They've been a unit together, right? They're comfortable together. They're comfortable on both sides of the ball, playing with the ball and defending as a group. I've seen enough from Mary Tierney getting forward that I think that's going to be a tremendous option for Campbell. I'd love to see Peabody do the same on the right side.
Mercer searching for possession and chances early. Bombeck has none of it and sends it towards our camera crew. Seems like a wasted throw there a little bit, trying to create something. And that's the stress of losing 2 top strikers from last year, 50% of the scoring if you're Mercer. I think it'd be hard to all put it together in one match. You can't just replicate 12 goals in a second.
Yeah, no, it's hard to substitute for that.
Here's a long ball for Donald, who stays on side.
Good ball into the back.
Reigning attacking player of the year, forces a corner kick on a physical confrontation with Jordan Lynn. Jordan Lynn needs story. She was the first female football player at her high school, at Hewitt-Truesville High School.
Oh, interesting.
Played kicker and punter for her team.
Right. See if Mary Tierney can put another good ball in. Oh, the good played short.
In the final 5 minutes of this first half, Tierney sends it to the middle, overshoots a target, header knocked down, second chance rolls into Bell's mitts.
Yep, Lindsey Bell did a great job holding on to that.
That's 5 early saves for the first-year starting keeper.
Good ball, good, yes. That was Peabody helping play that ball on. That was good.
If you're Mercer, how do you change up the strategy defensively? Because these corners and second chances have been ruthless to the Mercer defense.
Yeah, I mean, Mercer's, needs to do a better job of the first 20, 25 minutes. They were very good at just pressing the ball, making it difficult, closing things down. Now the game's opened up a little bit, and it's a little bit more difficult. So it's really important for Mercer to be able to possess the ball with that first pass.
Mercer team that's watched Campbell jump out 1-0 on the Jackie Richards goal, fresh off a set piece. Now Jessica Donald, the top scorer from last year, takes a breather. Elise Holsey, the true freshman from Savannah, Georgia, comes in. There's Elise up the far flank. A ball forward trying to show off those gazelle-like legs, and Bell is all over it.
Yeah, she has some pace.
Lindsey Bell, an active first half, replacing Jordan Ebert, the 2-time All-SoCon goalie. That's a difficult assignment. She's lived up to it so far.
Yes, she's done well.
Because I would even say the goal against her wasn't necessarily her fault.
No.
Well-placed header.
Yep. She was not out of position, so it was just a good goal.
Not that works in the stat sheet, but at least you can tell yourself that as a keeper when you go home.
Right. So Tierney's moved over to the right side now.
Elvavieski with speed. Ooh, great dispossession by Jordan Lynn. Like a butcher. Took that knife out and swiped it away. Like me cutting up a pizza on a Sunday afternoon, slicing that bad boy down the middle.
Right.
Get those big Costco pizzas, you go.
She was very brave and productive in that.
And in a match where you want to ill afford a yellow card or a mistake, that's never an easy moment.
A quick set piece here.
Look at Richards
Restart.
running wild into the box. Richard wants the free kick and will not get it. That's a tough ask for a striker.
Yeah, from that distance.
Do you play it up if you're a player? Do you try to draw the injury?
Well, it's part of the game, you know. Make the referee, make the call.
Would you have made that call there if your head referee Brandon Mary?
No, I would not have.
Okay, Rusty, you be the judge at home for us on ESPN Plus. What'd you see?
Yeah, good touch in behind. There's some contact, a little bit of contact. Oh, she clipped her on her ankle, but it was outside the box, so I would have called it outside the box.
Exactly. You can't call a penalty kick there, at least from that perspective. Yeah. Haley Cranbill checks in for Campbell. We see the big 18 bopping on her hair in the middle of the field. More of a defensive-minded midfielder.
Right.
True senior, 25 appearances for Cranbill.
Another senior coming off the bench.
Well, that's the luxury. 12 seniors, 4 juniors for Jeff Gross. And that in the midst of a coaching change, right? The former head coach, Samara Zem, heads to Villanova.
Yep.
And yet a large majority of her roster returns and looks to make an impact, including this young number 5, Bianca Mandrini, the Miami, Florida product, who's playing the high striker role.
Yep. See how Lindsay plays with her feet? She did a good job. Right, kept possession.
Lone difference, 15 minutes prior, Jackie Richards with the opening goal, 30 minutes in.
What a difference this last minute will make, you know.
Ooh, a little fist fighting outside the 18. Chance here for Cook. Centers a deflection. Kept in. And what a play by, wow.
Is that Tierney?
Yeah, that is Mary Tierney back there.
She went back on the left side now.
Saved what would have been a corner kick for Mercer.
The last minute would be very
well, it is ruled a corner, so my apologies.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the chip in to the back post. Martelli knocks it up, and it's through. Mercer has tied this match up. Lena Whitfield comes off the bench to score.
Yeah, she was very, very poised on the ball coming in the box. Another great header for a goal.
Final minute of the first half, and the top returning scorer strikes for her first.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to say, Evan, the last minute, if it goes 2-0, it's very difficult for Mercer, but it could go 1-1. Yeah, just got all of her body behind it, strength.
So how much of that's on Martelli? How do you collect that as a keeper? Because you expose the back line if you come forward.
Yeah, she was called kind of, do I come or do I stay, right? And she was kind of in the middle.
The old should I stay or should I go now?
Yeah. I'm not sure coming would have been the right answer, but it's just a difficult ball.
So the final minute of this first half, and how have things changed immediately for Mercer? Lena Whitfield, the sophomore to Johns Creek, Georgia, brings some life to this offense.
It changes that halftime talk. Yeah.
Think about that play from Mary Tierney. We thought she cleared it out. Not forcing the corner. That's then gets the set piece.
Yep.
Bobbled by Martelli, and all of a sudden, we're tied up at 1. So that'll look to be the score at halftime. Final 10 seconds. The Jackie Richards goal starts off the 22 campaign, and what a response by Lena Whitfield. Entertaining first 45 minutes, all drawn at 1 here at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old saying, most goals are scored in the first 5 minutes for the last 5 minutes of each half.
So right? Jackie Richards got the scoring started on this great feed from Alyssa Novovieski. But then Rusty to close out the half, Lena Whitfield in the right place at the right time to tie.
Yeah, another great ball served into the back post. You would like to see Martelli come out and be a little bit more strong with on the ball in the air. Make it difficult, but kind of got caught in the middle.
We'll take the time out here on ESPN Plus. 1-1 through the first 45 minutes. Plenty more when we return from Bowie's Creek, North Carolina.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
There's not a secret to what actually happens behind the scenes at a bank. Here at First Citizens, we're trying to educate the client in each step of what's actually going to happen and actually have them make the educated decision around what steps and what options they utilize. We want to become that trusted advisor that actually guides them down that road, helping you reach your goals. That's Forever First.
Whether it's the practice field or weight room, in class or on game day, we compete down here. We put in work day in and day out to take a step forward towards degrees, championships. Our goals? Excellence on every level. More than 4,000 student athletes, one attitude. We are the Big South, where winners are made.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
Whether you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Sunbelt Rentals is committed to making it easy to get the tools and equipment you need. With a vast network of locations across the U.S. and Canada, no one brings more yes to your project. Our broad inventory and dedicated team of experts makes equipment rental absolutely available, positively reliable, and unquestionably easy. Visit sunbeltrentals.com to reserve your equipment or find a location near you.
Welcome back to Eakes Athletics Complex. This Big South broadcast is brought to you by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Visit HerculesTires.com. Sunbelt Rentals, we have the equipment for that. First Citizens Bank, Forever First, and Jersey Mike's, sub above. 45 minutes in, Rusty Scarborough, your thoughts on a back-and-forth first half?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we expected the first 10, 15 minutes. Was going to be fast-paced, both teams really pressing, getting after it, chasing. Campbell, the experience of Campbell players showed a little bit more poise on the ball the first 15, 20 minutes. Mercer did a good job with their confrontation line was higher. They caused some problems with the back four for Campbell, created a couple chances early. In the middle of the first half, it just kind of mellowed out a little bit. Kind of the game settled down. It was kind of blah for a little bit. And then came the goal from Jackie Richards, right? Open the game back up. And I had a bad feeling that last couple minutes because they kept getting a couple chances, got the corner that we thought was going to be a throw-in, but went out for a corner. Scored a great goal, right? So it just changes the momentum and the mindset of halftime.
So Hercules Tires is the official tire of the Big South Conference for over 65 years. Unbeatable quality at unmatched value. Right on our strength at HerculesTires.com. When we come back, highlights from the first half and a 1-1 draw on ESPN+. Halftime here at Eakes Athletics Complex. A story of two halves. Campbell more shots on target with 5 on goal. Really the advantage with the saves to Mercer and Lindsey Bell defensively. And yet, Rusty, we sit in a 1-1 matchup. That's what makes this sport so unique. One team can outplay the other, and a late goal can tie it from Linnea Whitfield.
Yeah, exactly. The game's sometimes cruel and unpredictable, for sure.
So those are some of the numbers from this match. We told you start at 22, new season. Well, last year in the Big South Conference, Campbell ran to a regular season title. Now, they were trumped by High Point in the tournament championship. So the 2 seed went to the conference tournament. This is the exact same preseason rankings this year as last year's regular season finish. What impresses you about the top of this league? And maybe who do you think will make a run in the Big South this year?
Yeah, I think Longwood's got – they recruited some very good players. They had a player that I coached this past year, so she'll be a freshman there. The interesting thing is going to be High Point. They lost their coach to UNC Charlotte late this summer, so it only happened like 6 weeks ago, or 2 months ago. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that played out and will play out during preseason.
Campbell, of course, replacing its head coach in Samara Zem. They bring in Jeff Gross, and through 45 minutes, playing like a team that is among the tops of the Big South. We sit in a 1-1 draw, and when we come back, some highlights and some nuggets you need to know from Buies Creek, North Carolina, all leaving at 1 at halftime.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion, obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
The B1 Performance Patch elevates physical functions by transforming carbs into glucose used to fuel the body. Don't compete without it. Visit buyb1.com or on social media at B1Patch.
There's not a secret to what actually happens behind the scenes at a bank. Here at First Citizens, we're trying to educate the client in each step of what's actually going to happen and actually have them make the educated decision around what steps and what options they utilize. We want to become that trusted advisor that actually guides them down that road, helping you reach your goals. That's Forever First.
Whether it's the practice field or weight room, in class or on game day, we compete down here. We put in work, day in and day out, to take a step forward towards degrees, championships. Our goals? Excellence on every level. More than 4,000 student athletes, one attitude. We are the Big South, where winners are made.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion, obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
Okay, welcome back to Eakes Athletics Complex, all squared at 1 here in this matchup of Campbell and Mercer. And I tell you what, here with Rusty Scarborough, I'm Evan Budrovich. A team outplays Campbell for 44 of the first 45 minutes. You have Mercer with the late goal from Linnea Whitfield. Right. That's what makes the second half fascinating. I don't know who's going to pull away. What do you think? What team has the advantage entering the second half?
Yeah, I mean, the tempo of the game went back and forth the first half. I was a little bit anxious or excited that there was a goal left in the first half for Mercer or for Campbell. And if it went 2-0 Campbell, it's difficult. If it goes 1-1, it's a totally different game now. So coming out in the second half, it'll be interesting to see what both coaches are trying to accomplish and change and adjust.
You noted the 2 goals. Let's dive into the highlights from the first half, because early in this match, both teams had shots on target, and really it came down to a good defense from Campbell until finally Jackie Richards broke the mold.
Yeah, great turn on the ball by Alyssa and a beautiful ball in. Very good header on frame. Not much Lindsey Bell could have done with that.
Lindsey Bell was busy in that first half. 5 saves. There's another promising chance.
Yeah, Lindsey's her first outing, right, taking over from a very good goalkeeper from last year, has kind of held her own in the team.
And then the misplay by Martelli gifts the first goal for Whitfield.
Yeah, just not sure whether to come or go, right, as a goalkeeper, and that makes it a little bit difficult. But a great, tremendous header by Mercer to equalize the game.
Coach Jeff Gross describing Stephanie Martelli, he said she's accepted that challenge from day one of being the starter. These are 2 brand new starters between the pipes. How much of a factor will that play? 2 new starters in a moment they have not been in quite some time, a decisive game in the second half.
Yeah, I think going into halftime, both keepers should feel pretty good about themselves. Martelli didn't really have a lot of action after the first 10 minutes, having to make any big saves until that last minute, that 44th minute. But, going in, I think both of them should feel pretty good about where they are, and it's a long season, and let's see what happens here in the second half, next 45 minutes.
There's Stephanie Martelli replacing former starter in Reagan Duvall, and that's a challenge, right? When you're the backup, you're playing in 6 games total last year, to then be asked, okay, hey, this is your assignment. And we saw in that ball in that she made a mistake, and how do you bounce back in the second half?
I think Stephanie Martelli's got a bright future, to be honest. She's got the size, she's got the hands. Hopefully she can realize how good she is and how good she can be.
You contrast that with Lindsey Bell, and yes, the goal was put in against her, but otherwise darn near perfect. 5 saves, and she did everything she could to keep Mercer in this game.
Yeah, Lindsey did a very good job. Being that player, like you said, taking over from a keeper that was good.
We figured with 2 teams with high preseason accolades, it would come down to this type of second half.
Yes, it's what you would expect, having first game out, first half of the season. Kind of anxiety, stress going through both teams. The tempo of the game went back and forth and kind of went stale in the middle of the first half, and then that's what we got, 2 goals in the second part.
We see Tony Economopoulos, the Greek legend, down in Macon, Georgia, 12 years with the Bears, and he said this team may not be his best roster he's ever had, but certainly the most willing to learn, and we saw those adjustments in the first half.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see the next 5-10 minutes here what both teams are trying to accomplish.
There's a lot of coaching going on.
Have they
Tony
changed
right
anything?
now.
He is definitely getting after it. Yeah.
Not only the great goatee, but he's willing to share some nuggets to start this second half.
Oh, he's got the coaching board out. He's doing it all.
What is the challenge of coaching a young team? You've spent 40 years in the business.
For them to believe, right? Believe in what you're saying and believe in themselves. And they have to buy in.
So with that, we begin the second half. Youth versus experience, and we're all drawn at 1 apiece. Remember, Mercer lost its top goal scorer, Allie Fordham, to graduation. And yet, players have stepped up, like Lena Whitfield with her clutch goal in the closing minute of the half.
Mercer's come out in the second half and really looking to get forward with some pace and with numbers.
Look at this chance in. Second knockdown. Played back out to the 18 and deflected.
Good block. Yeah.
And there's Martelli to catch it in the breadbasket. Laney Peabody has affected everything on the back line.
I've been very impressed with her. She tackles, she wins possession of the ball, and she keeps possession of the ball.
What a luxury if you're Coach Jeff Gross. All-conference defender returns for her final season. And that can be said of both these teams.
Yeah.
Each with 4 starting defenders.
That's got a lot to do with why there's not any really clear chances on frame,
Well, think about 4-5 saves for Lindsey Bell now, and she's been tested.
Yep.
Martelli hasn't had many shots in front of her. Clearly the one that went in, but
no.
Her defense has kept things relatively clean. What a nice play by Aaliyah Kitchens to force that throw in. She basically outran Norgren at the last second and forced the throw.
Coach Tony's excited about her.
He described Aaliyah Kitchens as a athlete by trade, maybe his best and most athletic player. Here's Amber Liston. Plays it into a dangerous area now. Mercer with possession. Searching for the size. It's knocked down.
Ball drops down.
Boy, playing with fire in the box for Kylie Buchanan.
That extra pass in the middle of the field really created that chance for them.
Mercer team, a SoCon semifinalist from a year ago. Beat Wofford in the conference tournament 3-0, then lost to the reigning champs in Sanford 1-0. Sanford, of course, who beat Auburn in the NCAA tournament. Lost in the second round last year. Farthest Bulldogs have been. Whiteley looking for a corner, and she earns it. So clearly a challenge. Campbell's back line has been tested in these first 3 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see how they react to the. It's another in-swinger coming in.
There's Kendall Cook to service it in. 6 career assists for Kendall. And the service in. Looking to the middle.
Danger zone.
Oh, that was promising over the head of Eisen. Now Buchanan. Tierney forces it out for the corner. Mercer had 2 corners in the entire first half. They have 2 in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, they've come out, getting forward with numbers, looking to play in behind.
To the back.
Oh.
And Eisen puts a promising header on it, but a bit wide. How does Campbell try to mark Nicole Eisen? She's become quite a factor in this second half.
Yeah, they're just going to have to, put pressure on the ball, prevent that ball from being played into her.
Because we've seen Stephanie Martelli have some trouble handling those balls in. Wow. Mary Tierney, what we thought was a turnover, she does keep possession. But Mercer is sending bodies forward.
Yep. Their confrontation line is very high.
Well, a little fight in the cage, and it gets freed forward by Noah Vieski. Beoto, who then is called for the foul.
Yep.
A little frustration from the sophomore of Humbert, North Carolina, just outside of Swansboro. As this game gets chippier in the second half, who does that favor?
You would think the home team, right? It's they're playing at home. They got a little bit of a crowd here. The next goal is very, very crucial.
And we saw Campbell score in the first opportunity, 28th minute from Jackie Richards, and then Whitfield with a 45th minute response late in the half.
That's why you play to the whistle.
Donald trying to secure space. Hargis says no.
Okay, all right. There you go.
A little bit of physicality here.
Tierney's very aggressive, tenacious. She's good on the ball, too.
Tierney, a secret weapon, is described by Jeff Gross,
yeah,
a redshirt senior from DePaul, a transfer.
Yep, I like her as a left back getting forward.
Mary throwing it in here, following in her mom's footsteps. Xavier's soccer standout. Little Big East blood for both. As Donald had no options, but sends it in.
Yep.
Take me through the mindset of that service, because there is really no one there. It's goal for goal or bust.
No, I think she was not as patient as she needed to be. She probably, in my opinion, I wish she would have taken another touch and then created something inside the box.
Alongside Rusty Scarborough, former 40-year coach and inventor of the game, Evan Budrovich here. Now, I got to see that your hair back from the 1970s. You were an inventor of soccer in Bowie's Creek. You're one of the all-time Campbell standouts on the men's side.
definitely had some hair, Evan. It was back in the hippie days.
I miss those days. Jessica Donald gives up possession. You focus now on the Suavecito and all the hair products that people put in. Myself, it's combed to a T in the morning.
Do not have to worry about that.
No, that's the perks of being bald. You got a lot of place to put a header in the back of the net. Here's the speed of Whiteley.
Good defending.
Peabody just puts one leg in and takes it away.
I've been very impressed with her. We keep talking about her. She's very good 1v1 defending.
So Campbell earns the free kick. And how about the presence of Lainey Peabody? She's been excellent defensively.
Yeah. She's got the mentality that defenders need.
There's Lainey throwing it in, the former second-team All-Big South standout. Lost it on the throw-in. Clearly a defender. No hand-eye coordination.
It's like one of those October nights with all the frost on the field.
Between that and the humidity at this time of the year. Opening night for college soccer. The pitch looks fantastic. Players look relatively fresh after a 3-week preseason, which in the women's soccer game begins so early. 2nd or 3rd of August, almost too early for the sport, honestly. Whiteley again. She was big on the first goal for Mercer.
Good
and
block.
Dispossessed by guess who? Peabody again. Her work rate must be next level because she's been all over the place.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree. She hasn't had a bad moment yet.
The TCU transfer in her 3rd full season here at Campbell. And has developed into maybe Campbell's most effective defender.
Yeah, so that's 3 transfers we've been talking about. Jackie Richards, Mary Tierney, and Peabody.
And yet, it's Mercer controlling possession in the second half and flipping the script from what we saw in the first 45.
Exactly. The first 9 minutes, they've come out to not chase the game, go get the game.
After the goal late, right, with 1 minute to go in the first half, that changed everything. Now Cook. And that gets deflected on the way in.
You know, those late goals, they deflate a team that gives it up, right? But it energizes the team that scores, right? And you can see this in the first 9-10 minutes.
What goes through the mind if you're Stephanie Martelli? Just gave up a goal late in the half. How do you shake it off and, recalibrate in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, it's, goals happen after many mistakes, not just one. So, can she? That's going to be the big part of how she grows as a player in the next couple months. Can she mentally get through those moments and get rid of it?
Martelli in 7 appearances last year, 4-1, so effective when she played, trading minutes with Reagan Duvall. But now she's the full-time starter, and this is essentially her job all season.
Yep, this is her team. Yep.
Now, it's always easier to be the Robin, but when you're the Batman, or Batwoman in this case,
right?
It's on your shoulders. And with a veteran team around her, I wonder how Jeff Gross tries to nurture and develop, with Gross's background in goalkeeping, develop Martelli for this moment.
I think it's critical that she realizes she needs to realize how good she is and how good she can be.
And that's why Jeff Gross hired Todd Herman, a former goalkeeper coach, a Pfeiffer grad. A little bit of assistance with the coaching staff there.
Yeah.
Now can the offense get some help from Martelli?
Got a corner, ball in the box.
Chipped in. Bell swallows it up because second chances have been brutal for Mercer, and there was another chance.
Yeah, she came out and held on to it. So that's good.
I've been impressed by Lindsey Bell tonight. She has literally answered the bell every time.
Yeah, no doubt. That was one of the talking points that Coach Tony had.
Maybe my puns are part of the talking points too. We'll give it a 5 out of 10. Early this season. Ask me in the postseason. I'll be ready with all my one-liners. This seems to be a Mercer team well outplaying its expectations, at least early in the year, and I think that could be very promising if you're Tony Economopoulos.
Yep. One of our talking points before we kicked off the game was experience versus unexperienced, right? But it's totally flipped the chart here.
Yeah, Mercer's playing like the team that's understanding possession, seems composed. Not that Campbell has not played to that level, but Mercer has stepped up its game. A little foot fight in the middle of the field and scooped up by Cook.
It's going to be interesting to see the first game after preseason. How long can Mercer keep this up, right? But their energy is tremendous. They're chasing.
Eisen looks for help. She finds Whiteley, who's tripped in the box, and nothing comes of it. Side referee keeps his flag down. Pressure continues, however. Now Gassy fired a missile right off a defender that time. I don't think that's what she wanted there. But it's Mercer, for the moment, keeping possession.
Yeah, let's see if Campbell can do the same right now.
Here's Richards.
All right.
Well, whoa, there's a foul on Richards. And she knew it, grabbing Buchanan.
Maybe look to have one more pass in the middle of the third field. That would help.
Kylie Buchanan, whose goal was to get a ring this year. That was clearly expressed by Coach Economopoulos. Returned for her 5th and final year.
Nice goal. Every player should have that goal.
And that's why these teams are voted in the top third of the Big South in the Southern Conference.
Nice ball in the back of them.
There's Eisen.
Oh.
Did she get a touch? And no, so a goal kick for Campbell. Boy, Nicole Eisen's become a major factor in this second half.
She's a handful right now. Would like to see her try to put that ball across the face of the goal.
Wouldn't in soccer you say a footful?
What's that?
Wouldn't it be like a footful as opposed to a handful?
Football. You're coming out, first game of the year, you're coming out with all the good things.
I've had a lot of time to think about it. Evan Budjovic here with Rusty Scarborough. Opening night of the women's college soccer season, the road to Cary, North Carolina for the College Cup begins here in little old Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. Campbell looks to return to the NCAA tournament, reached in the spring of 2020. Mercer with 2 NCAA tournament appearances under Tony Economopoulos. Last reached in 2008 and 2010.
So Campbell's kind of withstood the pressure first 15 minutes here in the second half. Hopefully they can get a hold of the game a little bit now and establish some tempo for themselves.
How do they establish the game? Because everything's been against them possession-wise.
They got to have possession. They got to have possession of the ball because they've got the dangerous players getting forward.
This is played wide to Stevenson, who lost her footing. Richards chips it forward to Novoviesky with space.
Just keep the ball. Keep the ball. There you go. Yep.
Up ahead to Donald. Reigning attacking player of the year in the Big South.
Yep.
She finds Liston. Little movement to Novoviesky.
See all the space in the right flank for Peabody, right?
And we have a whistle blown by the head referee. He's talking to Liston.
Huh.
Oh, looks like heading to the bench here for a yellow card. I'd love to see that at field level. Okay, so it's Tony Economopoulos called for the yellow card to the Mercer bench. He was griping his disapproval.
Yeah, he must have had something to say the referee didn't like.
So Brandon Marion puts his footprint on this opening match.
It's a shame too, because Campbell had possession and had a couple chances to get forward.
Now, to your point, they did lose the momentum of that play. It sort of became more of a dribbling display and less of an open goal scoring chance. So Tierney chips in. Nice ball by Peabody. Trying to find Jessica Donald, the top goal scorer in the Big South, and she has not had many touches in this matchup.
No, not in the second half.
Liston here.
She was there then. Yep, just keep possession.
First real moment of continuity for Campbell on the offensive end. Ooh, little friendly fire. Now the wheels and the speed of Sierra Whiteley. She is so tough to stop.
She's caused some problems, especially the second half.
Cook looks right. Looking to play it forward. This is a test. And a match won by Tierney. You mentioned you wanting Mary Tierney to push forward a little more in this matchup.
Yep.
She's been more reserved on that back four.
Yeah, she did in the first half 2 or 3 times and created an opportunity for Campbell. So love to see that happen again.
What tactically do you see from Jeff Gross's club? How do they initiate some offense here with 30 minutes to play?
I believe I would like to see number 9, Alyssa Novovuski, get more involved in the game. She has a good idea of the game, very good on the ball. I believe she could create some problems if she had the ball a little bit.
And you hear this Mercer bench, very supportive, very demonstrative, and trying to create some high pressure. Now, running those legs for 70 minutes is one thing.
Yeah.
Adding it for the full 90 could be a whole other conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
You were a player. Take me through it. How do you build your legs up early in the preseason to this opener tonight?
No, I mean, after preseason, your legs are going to go away pretty quick. So it's going to be hard for any player to be able to establish this for 90 minutes.
Keep in mind this year, no overtime periods in the regular season. So this
Yep.
is the final 28 minutes.
Yep. And a point on the road would mean a lot to a young team.
A team in Mercer that replaces its top goal scorer,
Yep.
its starting goalkeeper in Jordan Ebert of 2 years.
50% of the goals, right?
And all that being said, we are knotted at 1. Do you sense at all a bit of frustration from the home squad? They haven't had much movement here in the second half.
It's going to be interesting to see how this game ticks on because that could definitely happen. With the older group, they could get very frustrated and impatient.
A team that wants to ring chase itself. We talked about the 12 seniors that returned. That's got to be a factor.
Yeah, yeah.
Little incidental collision there with Peabody. Guess who?
This is where you hope the maturity of older players will kind of establish the tempo and just maintain the tempo and just believe that something's going to happen.
Here's our first tactical change of the second half, and this could be a factor. Aaliyah Kitchens checks out, and the goal scorer, Lena Whitfield, comes in, along with Amaya Evans. And for Campbell, Norgren takes a breather as Olivia Neal, a little defensive substitution.
Yep.
You see Neal Hill coming in to throw. Played 13 games as a freshman in the spring of 20, but she did not play last year, returning from injury.
Looks like Coach Gross moved Peabody to center back.
To centralize his defense.
Yeah.
And he almost needs to with how impressive she's been.
In my opinion, she's close to player of the game, for Campbell.
Again, though, you wonder as we tick near 26 minutes, how will Campbell find continuity, and can Mercer counter on these mistakes and create some chances?
Yeah. And that's the key question.
Because that's Mercer's best chance of scoring in this matchup. Create confusion, force Martelli to make a play where she's already had a mishap. Because you can't get past Peabody. That is nearly impossible. She's the human eraser on that back line.
Yeah, Coach Gross said that during our call also, that Mercer's going to be a hectic team to play. They're going to come after you. They're going to chase. And they're doing a great job. They've handled this more in the second half than they did in the first half. Longer period of time.
Makes you wonder what the halftime adjustment was. Mercer stayed outside during halftime. Sat out by the porta potties down there when I was going to the bathroom myself. Heard Coach Economopoulos with a quick discussion. There's Cook serving one in.
The game's so narrow for Campbell. They need to open the game up a little, and just continue to get some things in the flank. Jessica Donnell in the first 20 minutes of the first half had her way in the flank.
Oh, here's a promising touch forward to Donald. Attacks the right side. Donald inside the 18 is dispossessed. And keeps it in. Good shielding off from Elizabeth Hargis.
Yep.
That might have saved a goal there for the all-conference defender.
Mercer's very athletic. They can recover in those spaces.
25 minutes to play in this match. Richards, who had the first goal for Campbell, shoots and finds Bell. A little misguided outside the 18, and he goes right into Bell's mitts.
Yep. That was a good chance.
So Bell chooses here to play it outside the box. We were asking about how good her footwork would be.
She did really well there.
Seems to pass the test pretty well.
Yep. Secure it, right? Secure it with a pass. Now we play. That's what I think both groups need to do a little bit more of.
Okay, Martelli gets her test with the foot. And effective, but not as promising. For the first-year full-time starter out of New Jersey.
Yeah, Mercer still chasing, still pressing. Coaches are on the sideline. It's
another great defensive play by Hargis. She has been everywhere for Mercer. Last year played over 1,200 minutes and looks really fresh in her first 90 tonight.
Yeah. They've kept this up for 22 minutes in the second half.
How challenging is that as a player to keep this intensity and playing forward and pushing the whole match?
Well, that goal before halftime established this, right? So as long as it stays 1-1 or goes 2-1 Mercer, it's going to be there. I don't think they're going to give that up.
Bayoto finds Tierney. Not many options, though, in the middle. And Mercer again escapes another challenge. Whiteley pushes through the slippery midfielder.
Mercer's done a very good job in the second half of finding that number 9 position number and being able to set it back and go forward.
Every time Peabody touches the ball, you just feel comforted.
Yeah.
So sharp with her touches, her passes, headers even.
Nope. Love her.
No sense of nerves when she's on the field.
Very poised, too.
Okay, so the call has been changed. It's a Mercer throw. Tony Economopoulos, who's coaching on a yellow card. You heard him a moment ago, fighting for the call. It's got to be a fine line, right, between fighting for your team but also trying to avoid that second yellow for the red.
Yeah. Be interesting to know if the first yellow was on him or his bench. Amaya Evans has made a difference here in the second half. Her ability to hold the ball up and get more Mercer players forward.
Tierney kicks it ahead. Here's Bayoto. Right outside the 18 and the corner kick drawn. So here's Campbell's first offensive chance of the second half.
Yeah.
And it took 23 minutes.
Let's see if they get some players in the box.
Who would you target here if you're the Campbell corner?
Well, I think you got to think about Jackie Richards, right? 6 foot. She's in front of the keeper right now.
So here's Amber Liston to serve it in. 11 assists in her career.
Another in-swinger coming in.
Shoots it to the back post and knocked long.
Yep. Guess who?
Overshot her target that time.
Peabody.
Here's Neal. Trying to maneuver her way through and greatly dispossessed by Gassy.
This could cause problems.
Richards does not win the header, but stays down for Bayoto. Mercer pushes forward with the back line. Here's the chip to the box. Open player and couldn't contain it. That was Jessica Donald all by herself.
Yep. She brings that ball down. That's a good opportunity.
And that's a goal scorer who's done this a ton of times in her career.
Great ball in the box. Yeah, just slipped through.
Ooh, she'd love that touchback. 20 career goals for Donald and nearly had a 21st.
You would think she would put that away.
So we reached the final 20 minutes of this match. No overtime tonight, folks. It comes down to this. We're going home with a draw or maybe a game winner. And I like this element of the sport. I think it forces urgency. It allows teams to play for the win and not necessarily milk clock.
Yeah, if you're on the road and it's 1-1 going or it's tied, going late into the second half.
So you do sort of build into a shell late in the match because we're getting to the point now where you start to have those discussions with 20 minutes left.
Yeah. Get something out of the road game.
Donald, who just missed her moment a moment ago, sends it
forward
forward to Richards. Jackie Richards sprints into the box. A 2-on-1. Richards to the middle, deflected by Bell.
Good first touch by Richards.
And
to
cleared
give
out.
A chance.
Here's Novovieski. Can she create space? And Lindsay Bell has been amazing between the posts.
Yep. That opportunity by Jackie is something you'll see more composure with as games go on.
Nearing double-digit saves for Bell tonight. She's been excellent in her first ever start in a Mercer jersey, replacing a two-time all-conference keeper in Jordan Ebert.
Yep. Jessica Donalds hasn't really found the game the second half. Her team hasn't found her.
Her best chance was just a moment ago. 6 saves for Bell.
This will be a big boost for her if it keeps that up. And Mercer.
Peabody sends it in, looking for a target,
Good
and
ball.
she finds
Good.
the keeper.
Very good ball in the box.
Lindsey Bell, who allowed just 2 goals as a senior in high school, her last time playing. Now as a redshirt sophomore, she has been dynamite tonight. We have a player down
injured
for the moment. Looks like a cramp has played a factor. We figured on a mid-80s night that could be a part of the conversation.
First game out.
So there's the cramped Mercer Bear. Sierra Whiteley is down. And sort of a mini timeout, if you will, with Whiteley needing a moment with the training staff.
Yeah, which wouldn't hurt either team, I guess. Get a quick drink. Maybe the coach has something to say.
How do you reset if you're Jeff Gross? His team has struggled to find continuity. How do you settle it in with 18 minutes to play?
You gotta continue to inform them that what we've done is going to work. Just be patient. We do need to keep the ball a little bit more better, I think, is what I would tell them. More passes, secure it when you win it. Get forward with more numbers. Keep creating chances because you will get something. That's what I would be saying.
It looks like that Sierra Whiteley will be all right. And she exits for the moment. But the athletic training staff always there to help. By the way, athletic trainers, the real MVPs out there.
No doubt.
A lot of hours of work and much asked.
They do a lot. They do a lot more than people understand.
And not much money being paid for these positions, so always appreciated.
I've been impressed with Mercer's ability to continue this press, the energy they have in the second half.
Tony Economopoulos with the neat tie. He was the head coach for Samara Zem, the former Campbell coach, when she was an assistant initially at Mercer. This was over a decade ago now.
Okay.
But it all comes full circle. That's why the matchup was scheduled.
Right.
And then Samar takes the job at Villanova, and comes Jeff Gross from UNC Greensboro. And the first meeting for these two since 2010. As the referee hits that ball, so he gives possession back to Mercer. The incidental pass by Brandon Marion. Nearing the final 18 minutes. What a nice start to the 22 college soccer season. Both these clubs gear up for Sunday matchups and want points to close out the opener. Good touch forward by Evans. Now Amaya turns for goal. And there's Olivia Neal quickly over.
Continue pressure.
And this is Mercer consistently in the second half.
Yep, it has been.
Now a turn towards target. Ison centers it in. Ball knocked down Whitfield. And for the moment pushed away. Boy, that ball sent out into no man's land and easy for Mercer.
Yeah.
Here's Hargis. She's been clutch on the back line. Sends it up ahead to the new inserted player, the freshman Jada Mormon. And Mormon, who's lickety quick.
Should be a goal kick.
Forces the goal kick. Mormon, who's a Power 5 athlete in the eyes of her head coach. Cincinnati, Ohio product. Under-recruited. I like that move. Put her in with 18 minutes to play and add a little spice of speed off the bench.
I've been impressed with Mercer's athleticism.
That ball sent into the sky, and it'll be Mercer possession. So all of a sudden, Rusty, look at the scoreboard, 16 minutes left, and we talked about playing for points. That becomes more of a factor.
Yeah, and next you get into the 10-minute mark and under, it's going to be interesting to see what Mercer is trying to accomplish. I'm not sure I would change much because they're creating chances and putting pressure.
Well, to your point, how does Campbell change its philosophy? Because they've had relatively no chances.
Yeah. For Campbell's, they've got to connect with that first ball forward and then get players forward because they've got the kids that can score goals.
And Stephanie Martelli now with the ball. She tries to put it in the hands of her offense that scored 50 goals last year, 7th in the country in goals per game. Tonight, the Jackie Richards goal. That's been the difference in the 28th minute.
Yeah.
Now ahead to Amaya Evans. She's been a tough matchup, drawing double teams all night. Evans off and kneel, and it's knocked down. Every time Campbell gets possession in midfield, there's a great defensive line. Another example there for Jamie Lubeck. It's like both teams are playing chess back and forth, just trading pieces.
Yep, now they've done a good job of possessing in the middle third of the field. Find Mary Tierney getting forward.
A little bit of contact and a foul that time. So Keelan Prey called for it, the sophomore to Dunwoody, Georgia. I love the hands up in the air as if there was no contact. It's the nature of the business.
None of us have ever fouled.
I have never committed a foul in my life.
Nope.
Not there have I ever had a speeding ticket, right? Like we've all said those things.
You're right.
What do you do if you're Jeff Gross? How do you change the momentum of this match? I do see he's about to sub in Kylie Buchanan, but clearly needing to find some offense here late.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not certain, who off the bench is going to do that for him. He would know, but there's just, it's kind of stale now for Campbell, right? They're not creating any chances. They're not getting in behind. They can't get behind the Mercer's back four.
A back four that returns all 4 starters.
Yep.
Finished top 3rd in the Southern Conference in fewest goals allowed. So this is a strength of the Bears.
Yeah.
With 7 shutouts. Okay, so here's our substitutes for both teams. Nicole Eisen, the striker, comes in with 14 minutes left, and Campbell will sub in 2. Bianca Mandrini returns, along with Kylie Buchanan. And taking a breather for Mercer is Amaya Evans.
Yep.
And Eisen's been a problem. Campbell hasn't had many answers for her tonight.
No, for sure. She has, especially in the second half. .13-minute mark.
I can feel it in your bones there, Rusty Scarborough. Remember, no overtime periods in the regular season, so this is it. Set your timers because it'll come down to this.
Yeah.
Here's Tierney. Great move to get past the speeding freshman in Mormon. Now can Mercer play in space with Buchanan out wide. Mormon sprints ahead, and the slide tackle knocked away. Those are dangerous plays for Cassie Norgren, the all-conference defender.
Yeah. If they get behind us, behind Campbell theirs, we're in trouble.
One more substitute as Mackenzie Gassey takes a breather and Keelan Prey returns along with Pace Stevenson. A little more offensive-minded on this switch. And this is what Mercer wants if you're Tony Economopoulos. Continue possession and really put it on the Campbell defense here late.
Yeah.
Now, all that said, neither team's had great shots on target in this second half, but I wonder how the sustained pressure will affect Campbell.
Well, you got to think the way the game's going right now, Mercer's got a better chance, right, to get something, right?
Big difference in this one is the 6 saves from Lindsey Bell, the Mercer keeper. And not a save this time, but still playing her feet wisely. She's been a calming presence for Mercer on the back line.
Yep, she has. She's got control of the team. They believe in her.
And replacing a 4-year starter and 38-game winner in Jordan Everett. It's not like she just inherited the job from nobody. She had to follow footsteps of a big-time contributor.
Yeah, Coach Tony, this was a key for the team, right?
How do you fill the shoes of an all-conference keeper? Well, they've found a piece here for Mercer.
Yep, she's done a good job.
6 saves later and a couple of critical plays. It's been all Mercer in this second half, out-dueling the preseason favorites in the Big South. Now, Campbell still had the better chances in this match, but they haven't been able to finish those. Looking wide for the true freshman Mormon. Can Jada get to space? Challenges Tierney and keeps it in play. Ison shots deflected for a corner.
Get a corner.
Kendall Cook on that shot, and wow, look at Mercer. 10 minutes to play and opportunities here. Kendall Cook looking to her bench and sends it short. Here's a shot nearing target and just missed, but gets contact.
Another corner, yeah.
So Kylie Buchanan, and look at Mercer bringing everyone forward.
That was something they put in preseason.
9 players inside the box. Someone trying to put ahead the game winner for the Bears.
Yep.
So Cook will try it again. 6 assists in her career. Here's the send in. Cook delivers the service, plays it short. Good header by Norgren to knock it down.
Yeah.
Now another service in. Martelli out of her box, no. Second chance deflected. Buchanan tips it forward, and she draws the foul.
Oh, this is trouble.
A big free kick outside the 18.
Martelli did a great job with that initial ball, box net.
And we have a yellow card issued to Campbell's Alyssa Novovieski. But let me confirm that just to be sure.
I believe you're right. No, it's
might be 10 there.
Peabody.
So a free kick for Mercer right outside the 18. So let's see what Kendall Cook can draw up. She's had a lot of good services into the box in this second half.
That's a difficult place to have a set piece. It's hard for a player to get the ball over the wall and down, you know.
9 minutes to play in this second half. Our head referee, Brandon Marion, setting the lines for this free kick. So Kendall Cook to send it in. Can Mercer strike in this second half?
Left-footed.
Cook delivers.
Uh-oh.
Off the post.
Off the post.
Second chance down. Wow,
Campbell
off the top of the crossbar.
Yep, Campbell
and Mercer, oh, so close. Rusty, how about the persistent chances here from the Bears?
I mean, their ability to press for this amount of time in the second half of the first game of preseason has been pretty amazing.
Campbell tested clearly here defensively, and they've been able to check the boxes, but not an easy situation.
See how she does this. Yeah.
The Campbell team that has been dominant at home, won 8 of their last 10. Might be nearing a tight moment in the second half. This is played wide. Now can Ison service it in? Nicole goes middle. Whitfield's dispossessed. Final 8 minutes of this second half. Back to Whitfield. She scored the equalizer with a minute left in the first. Stevenson shoots it high. Ooh, look at Martelli having to play it wide.
Yeah, she did a good job with her feet.
She kept it in.
Yeah.
Here's Jordan Lynn. Up ahead to Cook. Turning, fighting for space. And on some contact, a goal kick awarded.
The tenacity of Mercer is just everything. Pressing, tackling, blocking.
Tony Economopoulos said entering the season, it'll be key how quickly our team can get fit and trust the process. Well, if this result says anything, Mercer's locked in.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll definitely feed off of this.
The Mercer Bears gear up for a home opening matchup on Sunday. Campbell will hit the road for Clemson this week.
Yeah, Campbell's got a tough couple games on the road.
Under 7 minutes to play. It's been all Mercer in this second half. Can Jackie Richards change that?
Well, that's
Buchanan spins for pressure and wisely plays it away. Maybe Campbell's best chance of the second half. Tierney out to Richards. She shoots it in. And no contact, so a goal kick. A little bit of force there from Richards.
Yeah.
She scored the first goal of the match in the 28th minute. That's been it for Campbell offensively.
I believe she's played the whole match, too. She's 84 minutes.
A lot of pressure in their midfield. Brandon Marion letting them play in this second half, and Mercer awarded the throw. Novovieski falls on the turf here with just under 6 minutes.
Here goes the trainer.
We talk about these players working their way up in terms of minutes and workload. Well, this match has had a lot of physicality, a lot of tenacious speed back and forth. I could see why these players are starting to cramp up a little bit.
Yeah, going through preseason, just, you would expect it, especially with the humidity of tonight. And Alyssa's probably one of the most fit players they have,
So Novovieski gets back to her feet, the senior from Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah, a little cramp, get some Gatorade, stretch it out. Katie O'Neill, the trainer, there to help. Of course, Novovieski had the yellow card earlier in this second half. She'll have to leave the pitch for a moment.
Yeah. I think she went on, 21 went on.
So Reagan Bioto comes in, the sophomore. How can Campbell manufacture a chance? Ooh, ouch. Right off the noggin of Whitfield. Here's a long ball to the speedster Mormon, the true freshman. Tries to get around Tierney. Splits the difference. Ooh.
Yep, called a foul.
And a foul on the freshman. That was very close to being an opportunity for Mercer. We near the final 5 minutes. I didn't see a foul there, Rusty.
No, there was no foul, in my opinion. Jada Mormon, Coach Tony talked about her yesterday.
Here's Mormon with great speed. Boy, Campbell's had to win one-on-one balls this whole second half. That was Cassie Norgren.
Yep.
A little pressure on the backside here from Eisen.
Right, little ball entry ball into the 6, yep.
Liston sends it long. And a great header. That's Lubeck, part of a back four that returns all 4 starters. A Mercer team that just last season, really good in terms of stopping balls. Top 3rd in goals against average in the SoCon. Top 50 in the country in those marks.
You can tell they played together for a while.
Everyone chasing Milwaukee University as the best defensive team, goals against average in the country.
Here's another, maybe a good opportunity to get us behind. There you go.
There's a long ball looking for Holsey, who just entered early in this second half.
Yep.
Holsey shielded off. And now Mercer back with possession. Closing 4 minutes. Look at this promising long ball for Whitfield. And Peabody quickly erases, but she goes down. And the cramp bugs continue.
Yeah.
So we noted this is the start of the regular season. Campbell has a difficult test coming up at Clemson and at NC State. How do they gear up for two ACC opponents?
Yeah, well, I mean, psychologically, it's easy to get everybody excited for those games, right? They're on the road. Clemson will be an interesting one. I don't think they played Clemson in a while. Yeah, I mean, the key now is for both teams to get something out of this game, right?
I think this will be a story throughout the much of the next 4 minutes. Who can maintain their fitness, because it's getting humid and sticky, and these players are starting to go down.
Yeah.
Looks like Nova Vieski's going to re-enter, and you wonder how Jeff Gross manages his lineup with Peabody down.
Yeah, in the second half, Nova Vieski was coming deeper, so not sure who's going to go in at center back.
You see Laney trying to fight it off and almost get some blood back in. So a throw in for Mercer, quickly dispossessed. Now can Donald counter?
You haven't really called Donald's name in the second half.
No, and she had the one shot on target in the match, but that's been it for the reigning attacking player of the year in the Big South. 9 goals. That's a great touch by Kylie Buchanan. Now to throw into the box for the freshman Mormon. She pokes it inside. Here's a chance. Dispossessed. Whitfield out wide. Prey looks for it and feeds it back with 3 minutes to play. Can Mercer take advantage late in the second half? Promising service headed by Mormon, and she almost had it.
Yeah, slipped through. Yep.
And that could have been the game winner. That was a great service.
Yeah, any goal at this point could be it.
So Nova Vieski returns for Elise Holsey. And all of a sudden, with 2.5 minutes to play, no overtime in women's college soccer this year, it opens up a can of worms about, do you play for the win, do you play for the draw? How do you manage this with 2 minutes left?
Yeah, Mercer hasn't changed. I mean, the second half, they've come after it, put press, tackling, blocking, everything.
And nor should they. Mercer's been the more aggressive team.
Yeah, they're going after 3 points.
And a sloppy disc pass there. Campbell gives it up with Backlund. And now Mercer with 2 minutes left can press. This will make a 6-hour drive back to Macon, Georgia. Ever so delightful.
A lot nicer.
If a second goal would go through for Tony Economopoulos. Little contact there. As we tick under 2 minutes to play. So Hargis squares it up. You could play this into the box here.
Yeah.
With limited time left. The equalizer from Whitfield in the 45th minute. And now the service. Low liner, knocked down. Donald on an island. Surrounded by 4. Finds Liston.
Jackie Richards getting in behind.
Good through ball from Liston. Richards in the final minute.
There goes Jeff.
She plays it forward to Donald, and a slide tackle of beauty from Lubeck. 70 seconds remaining. Can Campbell counter here? Basically no chances in the second half, and here we sit with 60 seconds left. So Richards heads to the bench for a moment. They're going to reset the clock to 1 full minute. And Bailey Humbert checks back in. So here we go. Donald to throw. Lobs it for Liston. No contact. And cleared out by Mercer. Boy, Liston plays it back with 50 seconds. Time being an essence here.
Got to put something in the box.
The newly inserted striker Humbert plays it back. No overtime in women's college soccer. It comes down to the final 40 seconds to play for the win or earn a draw on the opening night.
This is the most Campbell has possessed the ball in a while.
Campbell scored first in the 28th minute. Mercer responded in the closing seconds of the first half. And now Liston loses possession. Maybe the last chance for either team. It's the speedster, and Mormon keeps it away from Tierney. 10 seconds to go, and it's played out.
Yeah.
A back-and-forth matchup to open the 2022 campaign, and it ends in a draw. And that's how the season opener concludes. Mercer with quality chances late, unable to strike, and we'll go to a timeout to wrap things up. Mercer and Campbell, 1-1. Our final thoughts, and we return from Buies Creek, North Carolina. A night of missed opportunities for both teams early. Mercer and Campbell wrap up their 21st all-time meeting with a draw, 1-1 after 90 minutes. Alongside Rusty Scarborough, I'm Evan Budrovich, and we talked about the 2 goals early. That's our Hercules Tires strong move of the game. Alyssa Novovieski finding Jackie Richards.
Yeah, great ball into the box. Jackie did a tremendous job getting her head on it. Not much the keeper could have done with it.
That was in the 28th minute, one of the few balls that snuck past the young keeper Bell.
Yeah.
And otherwise, the tying goal from Mercer in the 45th minute. Really, Mercer had the better chances in the second half, but I think a quality result for both teams through 90 minutes.
Yeah, first game of the year. Both teams can definitely get something out of this game. Those goals late in the game, right at halftime, they're critical. So it obviously helped Mercer because they came out in the second half and really established a tempo.
Well, you
pressed.
see the flurry of chances for Mercer early. They just could not capitalize on them.
Yep.
Campbell, who forced 6 saves for Bell tonight. And then here's the biggest moment, Whitfield off the miss from Martelli.
Yeah, yep.
And that tied it up.
Nice goal, good ball in the box again for Mercer. Very good header on frame with some power.
So for Rusty Scarborough, I'm Evan Budrovich saying good night from Buies Creek, North Carolina. Final score 1-1 to open the college soccer season And we'll see you next week for more soccer coverage on ESPN+. We're signing off from North Carolina.